Can you please tell us about the major issues in terms of gender discrimination in Pakistan?
As you rightly said, gender discrimination is not a challenge for Pakistan alone. So I think we have to recognize that there is no single country in the world out of all the rankings that has a perfect gender score.
Right.
This includes countries such as Norway, Iceland, Sweden, who rightfully pride themselves in having one of the most gender equal societies. But even there, and as I've served in Norway, I know from speaking to many of my colleagues there that it wasn't a long time, only maybe 30 years ago in Norway, they were still struggling to have women get to work and get out of the homes. So it isn't really that far back when we look at it. But I mean, gender discrimination, I think if we look at life cycle approach, it starts even before you're born. So, and you know, I will use anecdotes, less data, because I know some of you like data. I'm more of a story type of person, so I like to tell stories. And it, I think, illustrates the issue more powerfully. You know, in a city like Lahore, for instance, I have, you know, someone that I knew, and I was asking her, she has one boy and one girl. So when she delivered her, the baby boy in the hospital in Lahore, there was rejoicing. The nurses, the attendants actually came around, and in fact they expected a bakshish or a tip because the boy was born. Now 2-3 years later, she went to the same hospital and she gave birth to this girl. Quiet. None of the you know, the hospital, the same people were there, but nobody asked for a tip. So in fact she gave a tip to say, I have a baby girl, and they thought that was a very odd thing. Nobody tips them when a daughter is born. So I think just to illustrate that discrimination, that thinking, that mindset that, you know, we are already judging the worth of a boy versus a girl at birth. And then that, of course, over the years you look at nutrition. Sometimes, especially in the rural areas, if the boy is fed first, the girl is fed last, or the girl is helping with the you know, with the mother in the kitchen, and therefore eats only later. That has obviously the level of nutrition, level of focus. Same thing happens in education. So the discrimination from birth to health to education to determining, of course, who she should marry or not marry, whether she gets to go to work, and even at work, sometimes there are situations when women are not paid as much as men for doing the same amount of work. So, and going beyond that, it's about, you know, you come to a point where if you're going to be inheriting any land or property from your parents, even there is a discrimination that persists. And even if you are able to inherit land, there is an expectation sometimes by the brothers that, oh, you can't handle this, give it to us, we'll take care of it for you. So throughout the life cycle till the very end, I think that discrimination continues, and it's and this is in spite of the fact that, you know, if you look at the Constitution of Pakistan, Article 25A, very clearly it says there shall be no discrimination on the basis of sex. So documents, you look at the laws, you look at the documents, you look at the Constitution, nowhere does it suggest that this discrimination is there, but it is very much embedded.
Yeah.
So I think I'm telling you something that is not new. All of you sitting here, many of you know this, you're nodding with me. So I don't think I'm saying anything new. So that's the sort of, it's quite pervasive. And it's and part of the work we do and many others is how do we try and address some of these things across the full spectrum in Pakistan. That's the big challenge.